Greetings, WOW members and web professionals everywhere. Bill Cullifer here with the World Organization of Webmasters WOW and the WOW Technology Minute. Today's topic is designing with best practices in mind, and I'm on the phone with Charles Wyke-Smith, author of Stylin with CSS and Codin for the web, and he's also the director of user experience for Benefitfocus, a healthcare software company. Good morning, Charles, and thank you for agreeing to this interview.
My pleasure.
Charles, what does designing with best practices of web design mean to you?
It's a great question. I think best practices are guidelines for successful outcomes that are derived from other people's, and I think every project that people do teaches them new things. You can build yourself a set of standards that help you get more successful outcomes from your projects. I think there have been a number of people who've tried to document these kind of things. I think the most notable would be Jesse James Garrett's Elements of User Experience, which is an excellent book, and he also has a diagram of the central theme of that book on his website at adaptivepath.com, and there he shows a process that can be used for developing both content-based websites and online applications that presents a really well-considered five-step process for getting through the development process. Because I think design is more than visual design. I think a lot of designers approach designing websites from a visual perspective, and their first deliverable that they want to take to a customer is a comp that says, here's what your beautiful finished site is going to look like. And I think experience teaches you that actually the first thing you need to go back to a client with is a business requirements document that reflects what you've heard from them and what you think the business issues that you are going to solve might be that an online store or some kind of informational site, or, as I say, an online application. So my first initiative in any project for successful outcome is to really understand what the customer wants from me. And the best way to do that is to develop a business requirements document that lays out what the site is going to achieve. And once you're aligned on that, then I think you're off to a good start moving forward. The next step that I get into, and this fairly closely follows Jesse James Garrett's outline as well, is to understand what functionality is required to deliver the project. So functional specifications that say, this is what the site must be able to do. It must have a checkout cart to sell the products that are in the store. It must have email communication to streamline communication with customers, and so on. And then the second thing you need is a content list that says, here are all the things that are going to be in this site. And you can engage your client in developing that so that they are part of the process and they are helping you determine exactly what's going to be within the site. And then you can move to the next step, which is to start to create some kind of information architecture for this whole thing. How is this all going to connect together? What are the big buckets into which the elements of the site will live? And then beyond that, then we can start to think, okay, how do we get the key elements of each page organized in a meaningful way for the user? And this is where the role of the interaction designer comes in very much, which to me is a better role and a better name also than web designer, really, the concept of what are the interactions you're creating for the user on the site and how do you enable them? And we have 5 interaction designers at Benefitfocus who I work with, and their job is to make sure that the user intuitively understands what is being presented to them and can successfully complete the tasks that are there. And a concept we use a lot is one we call task paths, where we say, okay, how do we bring a task into the user's view, and how do we successfully take them through the task, and what is the desired outcome at the end of it? Do we want them to fill in a form? Do we want them to buy something? Whatever it might be. And then finally, once you've got your pages kind of wireframed out with the overall interactions that you want, then you can skin it with a great visual look and kind of bring the thing to completion. So we start from the other end, not from the visual end. That's kind of the final outcome. You might do a comp to give the client a sense of where you might get to, but then you sort of start back at the beginning from the business requirements and work your way forward from there. And that, in a nutshell, is what I have found to be the best way to achieve a successful outcome.
Interesting. I appreciate your perspective on that. Charles, I understand that you have the Stylin with CSS second edition out just recently, and where would we go to get more information on the new publication?
Well, I've put up a website to support the book with all the associated downloadable files. I've done a huge amount of code associated with that book, which has web page templates and a lot of interactive components, such as drop-down menus. There are all kinds of forms that you layouts that you can get there. A variety of pieces like little Lego bricks for building your web projects, and that you can easily further style to your own designs. And all of that can be found at www.stylinwithcss.com.
Excellent. Charles, Bill Culliford here with the World Organization of Webmasters WOW, the WOW Technology Minute. Charles, thank you for your time today.
It's been a pleasure, Bill. Bye now.